Now let's get started with the part 2 of the Docker commands. In the earlier lecture, we have started the image nginx. Okay. Now if you remember, when we have initialized this image and created a container out of it, then that container has its own custom name given by the Docker. Let's check the names. So these are the names given by the Docker. These are the automated names and the random names given by the Docker to the containers. Okay, but question arises when you want to give some custom name. Okay, some custom name to the container, then how we can do that? Let's check this example. Okay, so what we have to do, Docker run, then dd means we are running this image in the background, then we have specified name should be this, and from which image we are getting nginx. So let's type this, Docker run the name my first. Okay, now if you run again Docker ps, now we will get to know this. This is the name which we have specified. And like this, you can give your custom names to the containers when you are initializing the image. And if you want to stop any container, then how we can do that? Simple command docker stop and the name of the container. Docker stop my first container. If you want to remove the entity of this container, then how we can do this? Docker rm remove the name of the container. In the second part of this, if we want to run any image as a container, but you are using your local system or any server, okay, you are using any local system or the server to run that image, and that container should be available online. So we can hit that container, or any other user can access that container. So we can specify the port also. Let's again run this command. What we are doing here, we are creating a container out of the image, okay, and name of the container is my first container. Now we want that this container should be accessed by the any n number of users. Anyone can access this container, okay, using our IP, and in which port it will map our port with 80, and which image we are running, nginx. Now if you want to check whether this image has been available or not, see, this image has been available. If, for example, if you want to access this image, if you want to access this container, then what you have to do, just instead of the localhost, you can type my IP address, then you can also access this image from your system or your mobile or any device. Just instead of the localhost, you have to type the IP. What we have done here, simple, we have done this in the container using the port 80, and this container will be available on our system's IP address. Now if you want to check the logs, how we can do that? Docker logs my first container. See, these are the logs. Now if you want to check the real-time log, then these are the real-time logs. Now if you want to access the container, and access some files inside the containers, and how we can do that? Now to exit this, use the Control C. Using the Control C, you will exit that live logs. Now get inside the container. What you have to do? Why we are getting inside the container? So we can access the files of the container, folders of the container, or we can change the requirements inside the containers. Just we have to enter that, then it will work at the file manager. Simple file manager. Now Docker execute. What will do? It will get inside the container. It will allow us to get inside the container. Now IT means we are making it interactive. Like in the similar way, like we interact with the file manager in our local system, we can interact with the Docker system also. Inside Docker, we can create the folders, or we can create new Python files, anything. In which container we want to enter? My first container, then bash. See, now we are inside this. Now if you want to exit, then type the exit. Now we have exited the container. Now you can use all the other commands using the ID also, container or ID also. It is not necessary that you have to pass the container names. For example, right now these two containers are active. We have used the container names, my first container name and the elegant wagon. So instead of the names, you can also pass the container ID. Let's take one example. So for example, here instead of the name, we can pass the container ID. Copy this container ID. We are inside this container. You can use all the commands with the container ID also. For any doubts or any question, you can clearly ask in the comment box or you can mail me.